So I want to challenge something that the beauty industry has been using for decades, and it's the term texture. I believe that the beauty industry has been using the term texture incorrectly all of this time. When we use the word texture outside of hair, it generally refers to the quality, characteristics, dimensions, or experience of something. Now, in textiles, texture refers to how a fabric feels. In art, texture refers to the surface characteristics and visual qualities. In music, texture refers to the layers, dimensions, and interactions of sound. Texture is rarely reduced to a single characteristic, yet in the hair industry, we've reduced texture to either stand for strand diameter or we use it to be a catch-all phrase for everything that is not straight hair. Now, I'll be dealing with that in a later video, but for right now, let's focus on the term itself, texture, because I believe that it's the root of a lot of the confusion that's experienced when it comes to speaking, analyzing, and serving textured hair. For those of you who don't know, my name is Saria Hart. I am the creator of the Texture Dynamic Framework. I'm the founder of Curl Definition Hair Products, and I'm the author of Deciphering the Dynamics of Textured Hair. And so what I want to do is establish some core principles of understanding and communicating and analyzing textured hair that involves the language system, how it's analyzed, how it's understood, and how it's served. So now let's deal with the contradiction of the term within the hair care industry. You go to any cosmetology school, again, any cosmetology book, texture is defined as basically the strand diameter, the thickness of the strand. It's either fine, medium, or coarse. That's strand diameter, no more, no less. But then the same industry says textured hair, texture specialists, texture education, texture services, and suddenly texture doesn't mean strand diameter anymore. What does it mean? Is texture the strand diameter or is texture the curl pattern? The answer appears to be both. And that's the problem. We've assigned two completely different meanings to one word without any correlation, without any connection, without bridging any gap of understanding. And then we expect the entire industry to function practically on that disconnection. So now the result is confusion, right? It's confusion in education. Students are learning curriculums where there's no defined standard of language and there's a whole lot of ambiguity. And students are really expected to just have some intuition and serving hair. And the consumers are definitely confused. When someone hears you have a coarse texture, they're thinking about how their hair feels. They think that you're saying that their hair is hard and coarse and difficult to manage because in relevant terms outside of the hair industry, coarse means harsh. So they're hearing you say they have a harsh feel of hair. Meanwhile, the professional is only thinking in regards to the strand diameter, the thickness of the strand. So two different conversations are going on at the same time, and there's a definite gap in understanding. This same confusion exists in brand marketing, product education, as well as throughout social media. Everyone's using the same word, but they're using it from so many different perspectives that there's overwhelming gaps in understanding. So there's a bigger problem here. And it's not the term texture itself. It's the shrinking of texture to mean curl pattern. And what happens is people look at the visual presentation of someone's curl pattern and say, hey, you're 4C. Hey, you're 3A. Hey, you're wavy. You have curly hair. And what's lost is the hair's density, porosity, elasticity, the degree of shrinkage, the hair's behavior, how it responds to environment or what's going on inside of the body, how the hair feels, the hair's thresholds. All of these interconnected characteristics are basically ignored or are analyzed separately when the hair needs to be viewed as a completed system. And we lose the multidimensional reality that the hair exists in because it's been defined by one single visual characteristic. Now, what I'm not saying is that curl pattern is not important. It is important to know someone's curl pattern. But what I am saying is that curl pattern is one characteristic. And one characteristic cannot explain the entire head of hair. Two people can have the same quote unquote 4C hair and will need totally different products, totally different styling techniques, totally different maintenance routines. The industry is really trying to just oversimplify texture hair. What other industries understand is that texture means dimension. Music doesn't reduce texture to one note. Textiles don't reduce texture to one fiber's feel. And art doesn't confine texture to only be applicable to one medium. Yet in hair, we reduce texture to one visual characteristic. So I'm almost 30 years of hands and hair, believe it or not. And throughout my years, I've had the opportunity to build a hair care brand specifically for tightly textured hair. I've had the opportunity to teach from two major curriculums within cosmetology school as a licensed cosmetology instructor. We went from curriculums that only referred to textured hair as how to undo the texture, how to cover it, how to force the hair to take on another shape. I've seen stylists of all ethnicities refusing to do hair that was highly textured because they just didn't understand it and it just seemed cumbersome and that it would just take too much time. I've seen the rules made based on one group of people's experience, and it will be taught as if those rules apply to the full spectrum of all textures, which it didn't. And it just became very clear to me that a system of communication, a system of learning, a system of language, a system of observation and analysis, a system of learning and communicating education needed to be made to standardize what's going on with the head of hair. And this is what led me to create the texture dynamic framework. And my work is to bring clarity and understanding to hair, period. Because hair is dynamic, texture is dimensional, and all textures from straight to kinky coily and in between all lie on a spectrum of texture movement. And that's my work. And the goal isn't to eliminate curl typing, nor is it to eliminate traditional hair assessment. But the goal is to expand the conversation, deepen the understanding, and bring clarity to hair overall. So if any of this has resonated or challenged your understanding of hair, of texture, of curl patterns, by all means follow, because over these coming weeks, we're going to have a lot of touch points regarding textured hair and the industry's understanding of hair overall and why a comprehensive language system is necessary. To grab the book, Deciphering the Dynamic of Hair Textures, it's right on Amazon. And if you are a school interested in exploring our curriculum, and if you are a beauty brand and you're looking for consumer facing education, as well as some foundation for your research and development, by all means visit texturedynamicframework.com and you can book a discovery call and we can go over what either your school or your brand needs to deepen your texture exploration. Okay, Cyril A here, and I'll catch you next.